In this activity, we're going to go over how to create footings and foundation walls in a simple form for simple structures. So I'm actually going to start with a new blank document, and I'm going to go to my wall tool, and I am going to select the type of exterior wall that I want to use. I'm now going to draw a simple shape. Doesn't need to be any bigger than 50 by 50. So I'm going to go this way. 40 feet works just fine. Down, and I'm going to do something like a T shape. I do want you to use something that has at least 6 exterior walls. Okay, so no squares, no rectangles, something that has some sort of shape to it. And again, no bigger than 50 by 50 is just fine for what we're going to do today. Okay, I'm going to do this on the ground level, and I'm going to do just the walls first. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start to create some levels for the foundation. So the first thing to do is I'm actually going to highlight all my walls real quick just before we go on. And you'll know that they're the top constraint, it says unconnected, and they're unconnected at 20 feet tall. I'm going to change this so they go up to the level roof. Okay, so they're going to go from the ground level to the roof level, whatever that size is. And if I open my north view, you'll see that from ground level to roof, my wall takes up that space. I'm showing you that now because it's a real simple way for us to do our foundation wall as well. You may have a level that shows as foundation, and if you do, you can go ahead and remove it because we're going to want to draw in our own so that not only we get that level, but we've also got the floor plan. So if you saw, all I did was click on it and push delete. Um, then you're going to want to go to view, or I'm sorry, you're going to want to go to under your architecture menu. Over here, you have level. And when you click on level, you start to draw a line. And so we can start below here and we will draw a line nearly the same size as the other lines. Okay. And you'll notice you've got two settings on here. It's called level 4 and it's at negative. This one was drawn at negative 8 feet 6 inches. If I double click in the measurement, I can change it so that it is negative 3. And I can also change it so that it is foundation. Okay, it's going to ask you to rename the corresponding views, and you're going to say yes. And you're going to now look, when you go over here under floor plans, you're going to have a foundation floor plan. One of the next things we're going to do is we're going to set that up completely. But you'll see that we now have the lines laid out such that um, we can set up our foundation wall to be 3 feet into the ground, which is what's required in areas like Colorado. So if I go ahead and I double click on the foundation tab, okay, you're going to come in. And what we want to do with this is we want to go into visibility and graphics. And for now, when you push edit, click the all button, uncheck all, then click the none button, scroll down, and turn on just walls. Okay. What this will do is when we're looking at our foundation view, we will only see walls. We may change that going forward as we start to look at some of the intermediary structure of the foundations, different columns and pillars and stuff like that, and other footings. But for now, we're just looking at foundation, wall, and footings. So that's what we want. We're also going to scroll down and we're going to look at view range. We're going to click edit. The top of it will be the level above, okay? And we can set this at, um, oh yes, this needs to be set at 2 feet. Oh, whoops, I pushed enter. That was unfortunate. And we're going to set the cut plane at 1 foot above. Okay, oh, I'm sorry. That gets changed later. We're going to set it at least as tall as our thing. So we know that our level above, so this is measuring from the foundation level. At 3 feet, we won't see the walls above it. At 4 feet, we will. Okay. And the last thing is for the bottom, we want to change to unlimited. And for the view depth, we want to change as unlimited. So that way we see stuff that gets put below the foundation level, such as the footing. So we do all that and we click OK. We will actually come back to that and change it so we won't see this wall shape anymore. But for now, we do want to see it. So after we've drawn our wall shape, our next thing to do is go back to our wall tool and we're going to draw in our foundation wall. So for the type, we're going to select foundation 12-inch concrete. We're going to make our location line finished face exterior, and we're going to trace the outside of our structure. And we can just go from endpoint to endpoint, tracing the outside of our structure. All right, and that should put our foundation wall in. Now I like to use my 3D view to look at it and see what's going on, because you'll notice that for some reason it went down. Okay, so if I turn my view a little bit using Shift and my mouse button, I can drag from this direction and select all the foundation walls. Okay, now if I look at the very top, you're going to see that the base offset, it's putting the base at -12. That's not what we want. So we're actually making two changes. First off, our top constraint, we want to go up to the ground level. So it's going to go all the way to the ground level. We want our base offset to be 0. So we're going to make those two changes, and you'll see that it'll put our 3-foot foundation wall in directly under our walls, such that the ends line up. Okay, the outsides line up, and that's exactly what we want. Okay, so there's our foundation wall, and so I can adjust my view, and I can rotate it, and I can see exactly what we're looking at. So that's perfect. I'm going to go back to the foundation layer, and at this point, I am going to go, and once the foundation wall is in and it's time for me to put the footer in, I'm going to change my cut plane from 4 feet to 1 foot. Okay, so all I'll see is the foundation wall. I won't see the actual exterior wall anymore, which makes this next step a lot easier. I'm going to pick my wall tool. I'm going to switch to the footing. Okay, I am going to make it 1 foot tall. Sorry, I accidentally typed 0. 1 foot tall. I'm going to use wall center line, because what I want is the center line of my footing to line up with the center line of these. So you go to these endpoints that have the wall center lines. Endpoint. You can see this very wide, it's a 36-inch wide footing, gets drawn, centered on the foundation wall, or sorry, centered under the foundation wall, I should say. Okay, so this is what the foundation plan should look like 3-dimensionally. You'll see you have the 1 foot tall footing. You know, if you didn't change that beforehand, you'd have to come in here, highlight, and change those. But 1 foot tall footing, 3 feet wide, 3 feet in the ground. Okay, and this is your standard footing. The reason we do this now is you'll notice when I move to the ground level, and one of the things I'd like you to do for this assignment is to kind of create 3 areas. All right, so I'm going to go with my wall tool on this ground, and you'll notice where I am on ground level. I'm going to get my interior wall, and I am going to use finish face interior, hopefully. Yep, that looks like that's going to work. I am going to try to pick that point. I can straighten that up later. But basically, I'm going to go ahead and pick, sorry, complete that wall. And then from the midpoint, I'm going to draw straight up. Now I've got 3 areas. My wall's not straight. I can change that. There we go. And merge those. Anyhow, I can create 3 areas. And what I want to do is when I create a wall, or sorry, when I create a floor and I draw my boundary lines, I can pick my carpet finish and put that in one point. And obviously you'll do a much more careful job of it. But when I accept that floor, it'll ask me, would you like the walls that go up to this floor to attach to its bottom? And I would tell you to, don't show this again, and attach. Okay? Because what's going to happen is in that 3D view now, you can see where I put the floor in over here. I've got the wall, I've got the end of the floor, and then I've got the foundation wall that comes up to meet it. Now, a couple of our different floor types have different depths, and by doing that on all those floors, it'll actually change the foundation level to meet it so that everything looks like this. So what I'd like you to do is take our 3 major floor types, a carpet, a wood, and a ceramic tile section, and just put that floor type into each of your 3 zones. Once you've got that, your your project for this training video is complete. You should see a turn-in video where it'll, or I'm sorry, a turn-in assignment where it'll ask for a screenshot of your ground level, which would show the wall placement, exterior, interior walls, plus the different floor types. And I should see one with this pattern, one with the wood pattern, and one with the ceramic tile pattern, which is nothing, but that's okay. And then will ask for a screenshot of the foundation plan, which this is what I'm looking for. And you'll notice I did already take my view range and set it so that my cut plane is at 1 foot, and it's basically at the top of the footing. Okay. And what that does is it makes sure that I won't see any of the parts where it cuts up or down with the floors. Okay. You will just see the foundation wall, which has the pattern in it, and the footing, which does not. And I'm going to be looking for a correct foundation shape, and then the footing that's placed correctly.